Hello and welcome to Soulpreneur Scaling Stories. I'm super excited today because I'm doing something a little different and a little special. Today is episode 1 of a 3-part series that is all about burnout. And this is near and dear to my heart, and I will tell you my burnout story a little bit later in this episode. So how is it going to work? What we're going to do is this episode is going to be really laying the groundwork. What actually is burnout and understanding it? Because I promise you that it's not what you think it is. And then episode 2 of this series is going to focus on what is this transformation? What does it look like to go from burnout to balance, which is obviously the goal that we all want to have in our business. And then the third part in this series is going to focus on the practical steps to accomplish this. And if this is a topic that is of interest to you, then I am so excited to introduce you to From Burnout to Balance, 6 Steps to Burnout-Free Business Growth for Online Service Providers, which is a free masterclass that I recently created that is the ultimate guide on all things burnout specifically for this industry. So obviously it's linked in the show notes, it's linked below, and it is at dancingleafsolutions.com/burnout. So are we ready to dive in? Okay, so before we do anything, talk about how transformations, what to do, etc., we need to define burnout. And I found this to be super fascinating because burnout's not what you think it is. So what is it? What does it actually mean to be burnt out? There is a researcher named Dr. Moslem, who she is the world-leading expert in this area. She defined the World Health Organization's definition of burnout and all of these things. So let's define burnout according to Dr. Luck. Burnout has 3 components. It is a lack of energy, a lack of empathy, and a lack of fulfillment. Let's get into each one of these. A lack of energy. What does this mean? So, and think about this too for yourself as you're doing your work, what your day looks like, how you're feeling. So I really invite you to, as I'm describing this, think about you and say, oh, am I experiencing this, or have I ever experienced this? Do I relate to this at all? So a lack of energy. This happens when you have chronic stressors that are happening, right? So you have stress, all these things are happening. And then you're not really taking care of yourself so well. And you really start to feel exhausted. The energy is just not there for things that you normally are able to do. And then when you start to experience this first phase of burnout, the next phase is a lack of empathy. So what happens here is, okay, you're having all this stress, you're feeling exhausted, and now you kind of start to withdraw, right? You kind of like you stop caring about things, and you even have this cynical feeling about your work. So you're having all of these thoughts, all of these feelings happening, and maybe you even become a little bit hopeless. Like, oh, why am I doing this? What's going on? I'm not good at this. I used to enjoy this and now I don't. And I just don't care anymore. And, all of these types of feelings. And what happens when you start to have these types of feelings is, oh, well, maybe your quality of work starts to slip a little bit, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe your work is still okay. Maybe you're still doing a good job, but it's a lot more effort on your part to do it. That is a big deal too, because a lot of times burnout can be a little bit tricky because people think that, oh, well, I'm still functioning, so I must be okay, right? I'm still getting all of my things done, but it's taking you so much more effort to do them and you're not feeling good while you're doing it. So first one is the exhaustion, the lack of energy. Second one, the lack of empathy, the starting to feel cynical and hopeless. And then the third part is this lack of fulfillment. So maybe you too, you like your business, you like your work, but fundamentally deep down, you're not feeling fulfilled by it anymore. You're not happy like you used to be. If you can recall back when you started your business, or maybe when you were first learning about things and you were really excited and whatnot, and now you're just like, oh, it's just another job. It's just another thing to do. So those are the 3 things that are required in order to be experiencing burnout. Along this same line, let's talk about some myths about burnout. So now that you know what burnout is, let's talk about what it is not. Burnout is not a term for just working too much. It's not overworking. Overworking is a factor that can lead to burnout for sure, but it is not the end all be all. And let me give you an example. Have you ever been doing something and you just lost the time? You were so into it, and all of a sudden you looked up and 5 hours have passed? This has happened to me. This is how I feel when I'm doing things related to my coaching business. I'm so excited to be doing them that I don't even feel the time pass. I feel like I'm in flow. So I'm working a lot. I'm doing all of these things. The time is passing, but I don't feel like it. Doesn't feel like that. So working, the amount of work that you're doing is not the thing that's leading you to burnout. And this is such a common myth. This is a thing that I really wish I could shout from the rooftops. Overworking is not burnout. Here's the thing. It's not the amount of work. It's the relationship between you and what you're doing that leads to burnout. I'm going to talk about this more in the next episode, but just remember that it is not the amount of work. It's not the number of hours. It's the relationship on certain factors of your work to yourself that lead to burnout. The next myth is that burnout happens because you just can't hack it. You can't handle the pressure. I am sure that people have told this to you before, right? You're like, oh, well, you just can't handle it. Maybe you're not meant for this. Man, listen. Right? Burnout is not because you can't handle the pressure, quote unquote. It's not about coping. Having burnout is not about how well you cope with negative experiences. It is about a mismatch in these 6 criteria. It is not in any way, shape, or form that you just can't handle it. So if I think of an example from my own life, let's say for me, and I'll go dive into this a little bit more previously, I have had clients as an OBM or this combination of clients that has burnt me out. Not because I couldn't handle the pressure of being an OBM, but it's because what I was doing was not in alignment with what I wanted to be doing. It didn't fulfill me, so everything was very stressful. Everything was very exhausting. I had all of those thoughts, and then I just was feeling resentful towards my business. So it's not about, oh, you can't handle the pressure. I have pressure now, right? There's pressure in business always, but I'm fine. I'm happy with it, So just think about it. It's not about the pressure. It's not about the amount of work. And then the last myth is that, well, you just need to take more time off. You just need to go on holiday. You just need a vacation. Yes, holiday, vacation, sitting on the beach, all of this is lovely. And we need these things to cope. We also need to sleep well. We also need to eat well. We also need to do some meditation and yoga and just have an overall healthy lifestyle. These things are not the solutions. And that's why they're called coping strategies. There's a difference between coping and solving the root cause of a problem. It's kind of like when, before I was in this industry, I was a nurse and I was working clinical research trials. And I was working specifically with fatty liver, which is a thing that happens in a lot of times with obese people. So the medication that we were studying is a medication to help fatty liver, to help take the fat out of one's liver. Okay, great. These are the same people that also have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all of these things that have diabetes, all of this. Giving people all of these medications is helping them cope with their illness, but it is not helping them to fix it. It's not causing the root cause. Not all, but in most of the cases of fatty liver, it's caused by this extra weight. So the fix, the solution is to lose weight. It's not to add on 15 different pills, right? These are coping strategies. So much like in your work, in your business, if you are experiencing burnout and somebody said, well, you can fix it by taking time off, just go on holiday and come back. Yes, you will feel better for a little bit, but it is not a solution because this is not fixing the root cause of the problem. The burnout's going to be there. It's going to return really quickly when you come back because you're going to come back and do the same thing. It's going to be a cycle. It's going to continue to repeat itself unless you change something at the root. Okay, so there are 6 research-backed factors that lead to burnout. And the burnout happens when there's a discrepancy between your work, your business, what you're doing, and yourself in each of these factors. This is Dr. Maslow's research. This is not me. This is proven. This is her research. So research-backed factors. And again, we're going to get into these in detail in the next episode. I really, really want you to take away from this that it is not just that you're working too much. It's not just that you can't handle it. It's not that there's something wrong with you. It's because there is a misalignment. And this misalignment leads to lack of energy, lack of empathy, and being unfulfilled. And what does this look like? What can this look like for you as a service provider? So a lot of times on the outside, what this can show as is your work, your day-to-day tasks start to really feel like a chore. You start to procrastinate things a lot. Things that you can easily do, you don't have the motivation to do them. And so now your workday is extending. You're working longer and longer hours, but you're not getting as much done. You have the capability to do everything that you're doing, but you're not. And now you're feeling a lot of extra stress. There's client issues, there's tasks, issues, work, all these things are coming up. You're not feeling good anymore. And then this leads to you looking and you see clients online and, maybe you're scrolling in these Facebook groups or you see on Instagram, somebody's looking for somebody or, oh, that could be a really amazing client. And you keep scrolling. You keep scrolling. You don't reach out to them. And that should be a sign, ooh, something's kind of off here. You don't want this client. You don't want to do this work. Why? What's going on? What's underneath this feeling? And then finally, one last sign is that you're like, okay, I know there's a problem and I want to do something, but I don't have any energy to do it. You think, oh, there has to be a solution to this, but I don't know what it is. I can't do it. So that's what burnout can look like. And so now let's talk about what, again, is the real problem. And I talked about this earlier a little bit. I touched on this. So to make an actual improvement, you have to address the root cause of your burnout, not just the coping strategies. It's not about taking time off. Yeah, you'll feel better for a bit, but the root cause that's causing the issue is still there. It's not about the yoga, the meditation, the sleeping. It's not about these coping strategies. If you really want a sustainable, long-lasting business, you have to make actual changes to the core of your business. So you're not putting yourself in this situation anymore. And the really cool thing is that you have a business, which means that you're in control of all of this. You don't have a 9-to-5. In a 9-to-5, you're only in control of some of these things. You're not in control of everything, but here, you are in control of every single piece. And that is really, really powerful and beautiful. So you can fix this. You have the strength and you have the capability to fix it. I am going to share with you my own story of burnout. I had significant burnout when I was only working with one-on-one retainer clients as an online business manager. In the service pro era of my business, I was the most financially successful I have ever been. But I was exhausted. I was resentful and I was unfulfilled. Why was this? Because I wasn't working in a way that was aligned with my values, my vision, what I was amazing at. I was in my zone of excellence, which if you don't know is something that you're good at and you can do easily, but you don't love it. I was not in my zone of genius, which is the thing that you love, that you're excellent at. That's like kind of the work that you just flow. It's what I call your unique magic. And there's more to this that relate to each of the 6 categories. But again, this is for next time, the next episode. And so I had all of the signs of burnout. And because of this, I had the experience of seeing these clients and not being able to bring my fingers to the keyboard and being able to even reach out to them. These people who were looking for an OBM that were aligned with me, I couldn't do it. I experienced this burnout, the effects of this, for almost a year. And in that time, it led me to reevaluate everything. And it led to my pivot into what I'm doing now, because I spent that year thinking, I spent that year rediscovering myself, uncovering, rebuilding. It took me a long time to figure out what it was that I actually wanted to do. But the cool part, the really cool part, was that this actually turned into my intentional scaling framework. And that is the core of my coaching business now, is this framework. And this is the thing that will help you to not take almost a year to figure out and to dig yourself out of this burnout. And hopefully with this podcast episode and with this free masterclass, you'll notice the signs before they get too bad, and you'll know how to fix everything and how to change it. And you won't have the same experience that I did. But with my framework, I was able to transform my business. I was able to get to the root cause and create this business to pivot it into something that really ensured that my values were upheld, that really let me do these things that led me to feel valued and challenged and free and successful and happy and balanced and about all the things, right? All the things. So my business is intentional, as yours should be too. And this is the thing that prevents burnout, is when your business is intentional. None of these are the 6 factors, by the way. You'll have to stay tuned for that. So I created a thriving, successful, and balanced business on my own terms. And I share this with you to inspire you to know that you can do this too. It's 100% possible for you to do this too. You don't have to live in this world of burnout, in this world of resentfulness, in this world of being unfulfilled. This is not why you left your 9 to 5. It's not why you started a business in the first place. You can do this too. I'm not telling you that, you need to leave this and go into coaching at all. You need to find the thing that is super aligned with you. You need to find your unique magic and the things that you're really excited to do. But it's 100% doable. So thank you for listening to this first definition of burnout. I really hope it clarified some things and gave you a really deeper understanding of what burnout really is, and not these myths, these things that you see that people say that burnout is. And again, in the next time, I'm going to share these 6 factors, so that way you have the actual steps to take to get out of burnout for good, so you can have this thriving, balanced business that you set out for. And don't forget that I have linked below the From Burnout to Balance Masterclass, and I go into everything super in depth, and it's really amazing. And there is a special invitation only for people who download this masterclass. So go ahead and check that out, dancingleafsolutions.com/burnout, and I will see you guys next time.